My name is Ddg Drive. I'm an instructor, and I'll be taking yours computer architecture, PC upgrade, and maintenance. As you are aware, you are on the JBCS International Online School Platform, and we'll be having a series of classes. Your classes attendance is very important, compulsory as well. We are going to be having a series of assignments to show our level of understanding of the courses of what I'll be taking us in this course. And I'm also going to be sharing with you some content that you will require for you to better understand your course very well, and then for you to be able to absorb wherever I'm going to take you. Okay, so going into the course, it says computer architecture, PC upgrade and maintenance. So we're going to be breaking it down one after the other so you can better understand what this course is all about. We talk about computer architecture. What do we mean by computer architecture? It all means the whole thing that encompasses a computer system. And that means we'll be looking at what is a computer system, what are the configurations of computer system, okay? And then we're also going to be looking at the usefulness or the uses and importance of a computer, what makes up the computer as well. Because for us to understand the configuration of a computer, there's it for us to understand the basis or the origin of a computer system as well. So if you are with me, a computer, what is a computer system? A computer system is an electronic machine, okay? A computer system is an electronic device that processes data according to the instructions fed into it. That means that a computer is an electromagnetic mechanical device that receives data as input, processes the data, and gives the information as output. That means you have a set of data that comes in as an input. So let's look at a computer as if it's a manufacturing sector, where you have the input, you have the processing, and then you have the output. The input, we can call it in the manufacturing sector, we call it the raw materials. The processing, what goes on in the processing, all the things that you put together for the product, the final product to come into life. And then the output is the final product itself. So in a computer system, in this definition, what we are saying is that the input for a computer is the data, okay? And then this data goes into series of processing. And then the output that we get is known as the information. But however, most times we interchangeably use data and information together, but they are different. Data is a raw input, unprocessed input, while information is a processed data, a data that has gone through series of processing to ensure that whatever you get at the end of the day is genuine. So let's quickly look at the generation of a computer. What are the generations of a computer? We have basically 5 generations. Okay, I'll just put the main points, and then when you have the materials, you can digest it and digest the rest. Now, there are basically 5 generations of computer that we need to know of. Are you with me? The first generation of computer, the second, the third, the fourth generation of computer, and then the 5th generation of computer. Now, each of these generations are being classified based on the underlying technology that comes with them. Based on the underlying technology that comes with them. Now, for the first generation, basically uses what we call the vacuum tube technology. Okay, it uses a vacuum tube technology. It has its own characteristics anyway. So when you go to the materials, you see the various characteristics that is engaged with that has to do with the first generation. A few of them are the fact that they are usually big, clumsy, generate a lot of heat, consumes a whole lot of electricity. and the rest. Now, the second generation of computer has what we call the transistor technology. It's based on the transistor technology. However, they are much more, smaller compared to the first generation, and does not, produce heat compared to the first generation. But then they still generate a whole lot of heat. The third generation of computer, they are based on the integrated circuit technology. Integrated circuit technology. They are low-cost type of computers that are reliable, and then uses what we call the small chip silicon. And also, they are not as expensive as the first and the second generation. Then we have what we call the fourth generation, that uses what we call the very large-scale integrated technology. This makes use of what we call a microprocessor, and this is what led to the various types of computer that we are using currently today, because they have what we call the microprocessor. Now we have computer systems that are very small, that you can even put in your pocket. These are the technology that even gave birth to our mobile devices, mobile phones, especially, that we are also using today. Okay, so all those digital watches, pocket calculators, the personal computers, even the ones we use in cars and then copy machines, are based on this microprocessor technology. Okay, then the fifth generation of computer, which is the era where we are currently transiting into in this current world, uses what we call the artificial intelligence. I want to believe majority of us may have heard about the word artificial intelligence. Okay, currently this technology is currently being deployed in developed countries, where you have robotics being introduced, systems replacing human interface. Artificial technology is basically used to ensure that machines, okay, think and reason like human beings. Artificial technology is based on that. Is a technology that is based on the fact that machines are made to think and then to reason like human beings. So that means that the rate at which they can process data is faster. The rate at which they can give you the necessary information that is required is faster. And then this information and data are almost accurate. You have a 99% chances of accuracy whatever they are giving you. However, at this period, the machine seems expensive, okay, because they are still new and they are not available commercially like we have in the fourth generation of computers. So briefly, I'm going into what we call the various types of computer. Again, now majority of us are familiar with the analog computers, the digital computers, and then the hybrid computers, which is a basic type of computer that we have. Okay, but however, we also have types of computer based on their sizes. Examples are the supercomputers, the microcomputers, the mini computers, and then the mainframe computers. So what are the various uses? There is also what we call the types of computer by purpose. That is what we have to, when we look at the types of computer based on its purpose. So we have the general purpose, we have the special purpose. What purpose means that categorically based on what these machines can do or how these machines work. Now, for the general purpose computers, it means computers that can be used for almost anything. Okay, the Yoruba will say gbogbo nigbo, that is anything goes. You can use this type of computers for almost anything. All right, so these examples are all these your laptops that you can use for media purpose, for educational purpose, for entertainment. You have your desktops, laptops, you have the notebooks, you have your phone, smartphone devices. All those are general purpose computers. However, for the specific purpose computer, all right, you have example. It's those type of computers that you see in airspace, computers that are used inside the aircraft. Okay, it is basically used. Example, those ones used in the aircraft are used basically to pilot or to power and control the aircraft, the aeroplanes. All right. So you can't use it for any other thing except that which is meant for in the aeroplane. You have the ones that are being used in the air stations, computers that are used by scientists and analysts, to analyze data, to take blood sample and do analysis of blood samples or water fluid. Those ones are specific. You can only use it for such intent and nothing else. Okay. All right. So let's go to the uses of computer. Uses of computer. Now we all understand. I want to believe that we all understand and know about the various uses of a computer. Okay. If not for any other thing, you also know that computer in the area of education, like what we are doing right now, we are able to communicate and have this online process with the aid of a computer system. So in education, the use of a computer is very important, it's very key. All right, it has been there for a while, for a long time, but because of this lockdown we are having now, so it has become eminent for us to leverage on this technology to benefit, to make a good benefit of use of it. In education, we also have what we call the computer-based test, where you can conduct a test online using your computer. We also have the computer-aided learning platform, like this platform we are making use of right now, the distance learning, which is what JPTS is also a technology that JPTS is leveraging on, where from any area you find yourself, you can also still learn and have your certificate. In the area of health, computer is very important. Basically, it is a tool that is used to, you can use for diagnosis, for physiotherapy, and various medical analysis. You can use it for X-ray purpose to be able to diagnose where a fracture may have occurred, or even internal organs to know what is wrong with the internal organ of the system. We also use the computer in the area of hospital management system, where you want to, take care of, do a database of your patients and even the staffs, so that whenever patients come in, you can digitalize their information. What is key, you should have their code numbers or PIN numbers, as the case may be. You just log into the computer system database, and then it brings out the information of that patient, and then you can track their medical history or the medical records of that patient, and then the medical personnel can forge further in treating or attending to that patient. Okay, and then you use the computer in using for patient monitoring in the hospital. For life support system, there are some devices that you use to enhance the life support system of a patient, like the hearing aids, the device that you use for even the eye, for sightseeing, okay, diagnosing purposes and the rest like that. Those are the various benefits or the uses of computer when it comes to healthcare. Also in business, what are the benefits of or uses of computer in business? Clearly, it enhances productivity. The use of a computer enhances productivity. That means that, as you can see, there's the business side of this course, ensures that we are able to impact the students at even a much reduced cost. Okay, in businesses we have in the area of marketing as well. People can leverage on different platforms available online using your computer devices to reach out to a lot of customers and potential clients, and you can do business with them even without even having a personal one-on-one encounter with your customers. You can transact business with them with the aid of your computer system. You generate invoice, you provide solutions for your clients using your computer system and even with the online technology. And then you can use your computer to create a marketing solution for your clients. Use computer in the area of stock exchange for your business. All right. Then also in recreation and entertainment, computer is very important. It's very useful there. Okay, where you can use to watch movies, use it in sports. Okay, now that you even have in sports where you have this is it VHR or they call it now, where you can do a replay of an event in the course of a football match, and then to be able to show up the decision that the referee was going to make. Also in restaurants, you can order for food, drinks online, using your computer. That is how useful your computer is. And also in government, it's very useful in the area of the government where the defense system, okay, where now you have devices that are even controlled by the computer in the area of defense system by the government. The government also uses it for logistics and other functions and just like that. Okay, so there are a whole lot of benefits that and the uses of a computer in different areas, even in job seeking job and the rest like that. All right, so we move on to the next topic, which is the computer configuration. All right, in the next few minutes we'll be running up the class because our class is 40 minutes per session. So what is a computer configuration? A computer configuration has to do with the makeup, what we call a genetic makeup of a computer system, where it talks about the parts, the makeup of a computer system. All right, now there are two types of computer configuration. We have the hardware configuration and we have the software configuration. So we look at the first of all in this session, we look at the hardware configuration. What do we mean by when we say hardware configuration? A hardware includes a part of a computer that you can actually touch, you can feel and experience. Okay, so an hardware is a physical part or a physical component of a computer system. Examples, we have a whole lot of examples like the keyboard, the mouse, the monitor, and a whole lot of them. So I'm going to be touching each of these physical components and understand what they do, their importance. Let's start with what we call the CPU, known as the Central Processing Unit. And this usually in a desktop looks like a box. Okay, in a desktop computer it looks like a box where you have a whole lot of compartments like the DVD-ROM attached to it, the CD-ROM, the floppy disk, you have the power button, you have the power pack, you also have peripherals connected through this box. Now, what is the Central Processing Unit? This box is actually what we call the brain of a computer system, because it is where you have a whole lot of compartments, coupled together. The memory of a computer is stored on a disk, and like very small older style records, and this functions similarly like records, keeping records and saving them. The next hardware we'll be looking at is known as the monitor. The monitor. This part of the computer this is the part of the computer that visually communicates with the user. Okay, now we are on the video session now, where you can see me. All right, so the screen is what allows you to be able to communicate together, where you can see, where you can see what is happening or what is going on in your computer system. Okay, so that is how you are able to communicate or interact with your computer system with the aid of the monitor. You can be able to click and go to the various places that you want to go to. So just like when those of you that are in a computer system where you can your televisions rather, where you can see what is going on. Then another part we'll be talking about is known as the printer. Okay, the printer is more or less like a complementary hardware to a computer system. Okay, because it makes the use of your computer system to be well complete. All right, this device takes information, which is usually text and in pictures, from the computer and then prints it on a paper. Okay, the printer takes information in form of text, pictures from your computer and then prints it out on paper. That means the printer is able to transfer the soft copy, whatever you have inside your computer system, to a physical copy, which is known as a hard copy, for you to be able to further continually work with that document. Another part is known as the keyboard. The keyboard. Let me see if I can do a full screen here, and then you can see. I want to share my screen so that I can see what with some of the pictures, indications of what we are doing. so that it doesn't look as if it's a magic that I'm doing here. Okay, so let me share my screen now. Okay, so the next thing I said is the keyboard. Okay, the keyboard. The keyboard is an input tool that allows the user to communicate with computer. Okay, it allows you as a user to be able to communicate with your computer. So with your keyboard, you can input text and you can even use it to send that information through your printer. Okay. Then the next thing is known as the mouse. The mouse. The mouse is similar to the keyboard in such that it can also use it to communicate with your computer. You can use your mouse to communicate with your computer. That means you can also use your mouse to be able to go into different areas or different functions, different functions on your computer system. Another hardware that we have that is very important and germane is known as the hard disk. The hard disk. Okay. The hard disk stores large quantities of data for use at a later time. The hard disk, I want to believe that majority of us are familiar with the hard disk. Majority of us are familiar with the hard disk, or you have heard. Basically, let me just say you have heard what we call the hard disk. The hard disk, what is the hard disk and how does it work? The hard disk is basically where you store a whole lot of data, where that is where the entire process of your computer, works. That means that every operation is performed on your hard disk. In terms of installing softwares, various softwares is performed on your hard disk. Okay, it's performed on your hard disk. In terms of saving your work, if you save your documents, okay. So the next point, now there's something you also need to know, that your hard disk is connected to your motherboard through what we call a hard disk controller. Okay, what we call a hard disk controller. All right. The next thing we have here is known as the floppy disk drive. Now, the floppy disk drive is the first technology that came into the use of a computer, okay, before we have the CD-ROMs and the rest. And the floppy disk drive stores smaller quantities of data compared to the hard disk itself. And then the floppy disk controller is used to connect that floppy disk to the motherboard so that your floppy disk can be able to communicate with your motherboard. And basically what happens is that your hard disk, shares your hard disk shares say your flash disk shares or saves data, okay, just like your hard disk, but is that the quantity of data it can store is very limited. Then we have what we call the Cd-Rom drive, which was a technology that came in immediately after the floppy disk drive, okay. And this Cd-Rom, known as a compact disk, has up to 688 megabytes of data that can be stored on it. Okay, it has a read-only technology that you can write on a compact disk. Okay, now immediately after the CD-ROM drive, we now have what we call the DVD drive. The DVD drive. Okay, now that one is a technology that is even higher than the CD-ROM drive, and you can save up to 4.5 gigabytes of data on that particular one. So that means the storage space is bigger than the CD-ROM drive itself. Then we also have what we call the computer case, also called the tower or the housing, and it's a box that encloses many of the parts of your computer. Are you with me? Sorry for that. Sorry for that technical issues. Okay. So, like I was saying, I was talking about the case. The case is a small tower or housing that encloses the parts of a computer. Okay. So basically, in a desktop computer, you have the case. Okay, that is where you have all the compartments, all the hardware or basic hardware that controls your computers are kept. Then we also have what we call the power supply, or what we call the power pack. Okay, this is used to connect all the parts of a computer to the electronic socket. Okay, this will connect the part of the computer to the electronic socket. Then we have what we call the fan. Yeah, the computer also has what we call a fan inside it. Now, this fan is used in form of a cooling system. Okay, it allows you, the fan blows the entire components in your CPU. Okay, whether it's even your desktop or your laptop, the fan blows the components so that it regulates the temperature to prevent overheating. Okay, then we have what we call the motherboard. Now, this motherboard is very significant. It's very germane to the existence and to the functionality of your computer system. Okay, it's a large electronic board that is used to connect various other electronic parts to hold on to the computer. Okay, so you have a whole lot of things that is connected to the computer, from your power pack or power supply to your memory card to your Cd-Rom drive, your DVD drive, your hard disk drive. You know, a whole lot of components, a whole lot of hardware are connected to this board in such a way that if they are not connected, there's no way they will function. Okay, so the motherboard is very important in the life of a computer system. Then we've talked about the various hard drive. Then, however, when we talk about drives too, we have what we call external drives. Okay, the external drives are what we know, basically known as the flash drive, which is a typical example of an external drive is a flash drive, which usually makes use of what we call the USB ports for you to be able to connect it to your computer system. Okay. However, also hard disk has also been able to convert it to an external drive. So that's why you have, when you say I have a external hard disk. Okay, that's why we call it external hard disk, because it is no longer internal. You can connect it as an external device using your USB port. Then what we call the cards. This is a term that is used to describe important tools that allows your computer to communicate with various inputs and output devices. Okay, the term cards is used. The term cards is used because these items are relatively flat in order to fit into the slot that is provided by your computer system. Okay, now a computer system will probably have what we call a sound card, may have a video card, a network card, and even a modem card. Okay, or a LAN card, as case may be. Then we have what we call the RAM. RAM is known as randomly accessible memory. Randomly accessible memory, that's the abbreviation or the full meaning of RAM. Anyway, it is used to store documents while they are being processed. That means when you are currently working on your computer system, all the activities that goes on are usually stored in this RAM. Okay, and they are usually temporarily stored. They are not stored permanently. That means by the time you switch off your computer system, those information are gone. Okay, but in as much as the system is still on, is still working, even when it is on hibernation mode or in sleep mode, okay, the system is not off, so it will still continue to retain such information. Okay, and it's very important, and that is why in looking at the performance, how do you determine the performance of a computer system? The size of your RAM is also very important. The bigger the size of your RAM, the bigger the amount of information or document it can withhold, and it can hold on to while processing is taking place in your computer. Then we have what we call the processor. The processor is the main brain of a computer system. Okay, is the main brain of a computer system. It performs all of the instructions and then the calculations that are needed and manages the flow of information through a computer. Now, most times you also call it the CPU, even as much as we call the box itself the CPU, but the processor itself is the central processing unit. That is where every processing, every activity in terms of the logical activity, mathematical, arithmetic activity takes place in the processor. Okay. Now we only have 4 minutes left for this course, and I want to round up. In the next section, we'll continue with our course. Now, first of all, let me start with a take-home assignment for us. So the first thing I need for us is start sending me your email addresses. Okay, so I can start sending you materials. There's need for you to start sending me your email addresses. Okay, right now start sending it so I can receive them and I can save them. Now, however, is there any question in the next 60 seconds? Any question from participants online? Do we have any question? Any question? Okay. In the absence of any question, let's move further. I'm going to give you your first assignment because every class I'm going to give you an assignment, and then I will expect you to also respond with that assignment. Okay. So I'm going to give you my email address. However, like I said, the attendance is very compulsory. It's very, very compulsory. So I can see I'm going to say God's power assuming. All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'm taking your name down for attendance. Do you have any question, God's power?
None for now, sir.
Okay. Your center?
Cement center.
Cement. Okay. So
yes, sir.
The first assignment I'm going to give you, I'm going to send it to my email address before the next class. I need the list of all hardwares. Go and identify all the hardwares of a computer system, and then if a short description of what they do or their definition as the case may be. Did you get my question? God's power?
Yes, sir. I got your question, sir.
Can you say it so I can be sure you heard me?
Okay. You said I should get the list of all hardwares and a short description of what they do.
Yes, a short description of what they do. So that's my email address. Okay.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen.
You should see that in chat now.
No, I haven't seen it.
Okay, let me see if I can. You should see that I've sent you a chat now. affinityconcept@gmail.com. Did you get that?
Affinity. Yes, affinityconcept@gmail.com.
Yeah, you got the chat. So I need you to send me this assignment by 12 noon this Saturday. Did you get my?
Okay.
Did you get me?
So that's latest before. Is it latest before 12 noon?
Yes. On or before 12 noon this Saturday.
Okay. All right.
That'll be 25th.
All right, sir.
Yeah. So
Thank
once
you
I
very
get
much,
your assignment, I'll send you your course material for you to prepare for the next class.
All right, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
That's the end of the course for this morning. So we'll meet next week. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. You're welcome.
Have a nice day.
You too.